Hey, Raiders fans. We need to talk about the Jacoby Myers trade and what it really means for the Las Vegas Raiders. When news like this drops, your first reaction is usually a mix of shock and curiosity. But if you step back and look at the bigger picture, it's clear the Raiders are thinking about the future. That's the word I keep coming back to when I think about this move. Future. Because while losing a player like Jacoby is tough in the short term, this deal is all about positioning the team to be stronger in the coming years. The Raiders were able to secure a 4th-round pick and a 6th-round pick in next year's draft. And while that's not exactly the 2nd and 3rd-round haul many expected, it's still a strategic move that opens a lot of doors. The reality is that for a team like Las Vegas, those picks can be incredibly valuable. Depending on where the Raiders land in the draft order, which likely will be in the top 10, that 4th-round pick is essentially a top 10 selection, and the 6th-round pick is similarly high in its round. That means these are not just late-round throwaways. They could turn into players who make a difference right away, or, with some savvy maneuvering, they could even be packaged to get a higher-value pick later on. The goal here is clearly to build depth, stock up on talent, and set up the team for success in the seasons ahead. When you look at the bigger picture, it's obvious why the Raiders made this decision. After trading Jacoby Myers, the team now projects to have 10 total draft picks next year. That includes a 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, 3 selections in the 4th round, a 5th-round pick, 2 6th-round picks, and a 7th-round selection. It's a deep and flexible draft board, giving the team the opportunity to address multiple needs or even make strategic trades. This is particularly important given the current state of the roster. While fans might look back at the previous draft and say, last year we had 11 picks and nothing really panned out, the truth is that building a competitive NFL roster is not an overnight process. Not every pick will be a star immediately, but if the team plays this right, these picks could form the foundation of a championship-caliber team in the near future. The Raiders' strategy has been consistent since the offseason. Even while hoping for a strong performance this year, the plan has always been to build toward peak competitiveness in 2026 and 2027. The salary cap situation supports this vision as well. With top 3 cap space in the next offseason and into 2027, the Raiders are positioned to invest in key players when it matters most. Contracts like Max Crosby's were structured with this timeline in mind, clearly signaling that the team is not just looking at the immediate season, but planning for the moment when the roster is deep, experienced, and ready to contend for a Super Bowl. It's a patient approach, and for fans who understand the long-term game, it makes sense. You walk into every season as a Raiders fan with hope, because hope is part of what it means to support this franchise. Even when the results on the field don't match expectations, there's always a reason to believe that the pieces are being put into place for future success. Now, let's break down why this trade specifically benefits both teams in different ways. From Jacksonville's perspective, acquiring Jacoby Myers addresses a clear need at wide receiver. With Travis Hunter sidelined by injury and the team lacking depth at that position, Jacoby provides an experienced, reliable target. His familiarity with Edgar Bennett, the former Raiders wide receiver coach now in Jacksonville, likely made this an even smoother transition. It's a move that helps the Jaguars immediately while also fitting Jacoby into a system where he can thrive. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, the trade opens up opportunities across the roster. With Jacoby gone, younger receivers and tight ends will see more targets and reps, allowing the team to evaluate talent and potentially accelerate player development. Players like Trey Tucker and Jack Besh, who have been waiting for their chance, now have the opportunity to step up and prove they can contribute at a high level. Michael Mayer will likely see increased involvement as well, especially in 2 tight end sets, and veterans like Tyler Lockett can provide leadership while getting more touches in critical situations. The ripple effect of one trade can be significant, and in this case, it has the potential to reshape the offense and give the Raiders more flexibility in play calling and personnel deployment. Statistically, Jacoby's performance this season was solid, but not spectacular, and the chemistry between him and quarterback Geno Smith didn't fully develop the way many had hoped. Across the last several games, he averaged under 40 receiving yards per contest in multiple matchups, which limited his impact on the field. While he has talent and experience, the Raiders recognize that they could leverage his trade value now to gain assets for the future, rather than wait and receive a compensatory pick later that might not align with their long-term plans. It's a tough decision, but one that makes sense for a team focused on building depth, talent, and flexibility over the next several seasons. Financially, the trade also provides clarity. The Jaguars assume the contract for the current year and part of next season, while the Raiders take on some dead cap, but this is manageable within their broader salary cap strategy. The structure of Jacoby's contract and prior restructurings made this a move that balances short-term sacrifice with long-term gain. By offloading Jacoby now, the Raiders have more freedom to invest in emerging players, draft selections, and future free agents, all while keeping the team on track to compete when the window opens fully in 2026 and 2027. When you look at the Raiders roster following this trade, the depth chart shifts significantly. Jacoby's departure opens the door for receivers and tight ends to step into more prominent roles. Trey Tucker, in particular, is poised to be the biggest winner. He's entering his third season and has been waiting for the opportunity to show what he can do. With Jacoby gone, Tucker will see increased targets, more reps, and a chance to establish himself as a reliable option in the passing game. Jack Bech is also positioned to get more work, though he is still developing, and Michael Myers' role in the offense will likely expand. Tyler Lockett, as a veteran, brings experience and stability, giving Geno Smith a trusted option while the younger players grow into their roles. The shift in responsibilities across the receiving core creates competition, encourages development, and ensures the offense can adapt dynamically as the season progresses. For fans watching closely, it's important to recognize that the immediate effect of trading Jacoby Myers may feel like a loss, but the long-term implications are strategic. The Raiders are adding draft capital, opening playing time for emerging talent, and setting up the team to maximize its cap space and roster flexibility. Both sides of the trade benefit in ways that suit their current needs. Jacksonville strengthens its wide receiver position, while Las Vegas gains resources to rebuild, evaluate, and prepare for future contention. It's a move that embodies smart planning, understanding of player development, and strategic foresight. Now, let's break down who benefits the most from this trade and who might feel the impact the hardest on the Raiders roster. Starting with the clear winners, Trey Tucker immediately comes to mind. He's entering the third year of his career and has been waiting for his chance to prove he can be a primary target. With Jacoby Myers gone, Tucker now has the opportunity to step up as a go-to option in the passing game. The Raiders' offense has been looking for playmakers, and Tucker's speed, route running, and ability to create separation make him a natural fit to take on a bigger role. This is the moment for him to show that he can handle the responsibility and become a consistent contributor, not just a secondary option. If he capitalizes on this opportunity, it could even lead to a contract extension or a more prominent position in the team's long-term plans. Jack Bech also benefits from the trade, although his path is a bit different. Drafted in the second round, he hasn't yet seen as many opportunities as fans hoped, but now he'll get more targets and more chances to impact games. Bech has the size, hands, and skill set to make big plays, and by stepping into a more active role, he can continue to develop while giving the Raiders additional flexibility in offensive schemes. Meanwhile, Michael Mayer at tight end becomes even more relevant, with two tight end sets potentially becoming a regular feature. Mayer can take on increased responsibilities in both the passing game and blocking schemes. His presence allows the offense to maintain balance, while also giving Geno Smith another reliable target in critical situations. Veteran players like Tyler Lockett also see benefits, but in a slightly different way. Lockett brings leadership, experience, and stability to an otherwise young and developing group of receivers. With Jacoby gone, Lockett is expected to maintain his role as a dependable target for Smith, particularly in high-pressure situations. His presence will be vital in guiding the younger receivers and ensuring the offense maintains cohesion during the transition. Meanwhile, Alex Bachman and Dante Dorton Jr. are positioned to make incremental contributions. Bachman's sure-handedness in the slot and his special teams experience make him a reliable option, while Dorton can be utilized more strategically as a decoy or situational target, potentially opening lane for the running game and creating mismatches against defenses. From a broader perspective, the trade creates opportunities that extend beyond individual players. It reshapes the offensive hierarchy, forces the coaching staff to adapt schemes, and encourages competition among players who may not have had significant snaps before. This fosters growth, pushes players to perform at their best, and can ultimately elevate the overall quality of the offense. By moving Jacoby, the Raiders are not just gaining draft capital. They're creating an environment where multiple players are motivated to step up and contribute in meaningful ways. Of course, with winners come losers, and there are some clear challenges that need to be acknowledged. The most immediate impact is felt by Pete Carroll, the head coach, and the coaching staff. Jacoby Myers was not only a reliable presence on the field, but also a respected leader off the field. His departure leaves a gap in leadership and experience, particularly among the wide receivers, and the coaching staff will need to find ways to fill that void. This is not a slight on the staff, but a natural consequence of trading away a seasoned player who commanded respect in the locker room. The offense as a whole may feel the impact as well. Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator, has struggled to find consistency this season, and losing Jacoby could further complicate the development of the passing game. Jacoby's familiarity with the system and ability to run precise routes helped maintain structure and predictability in key moments. Now, the team must adapt and ensure that the younger receivers and tight ends can execute at a similar level, which may take time and patience. Geno Smith, as quarterback, also faces challenges. While he looked strong in recent games, throwing multiple touchdowns against Jacksonville, the chemistry and reliability Jacoby provided are no longer available. Smith will need to adjust, develop trust with new targets, and maintain efficiency in an offense that is evolving rapidly. Despite these challenges, the trade makes sense strategically. The Raiders are leveraging the opportunity to gain picks, free up cap space, and create future flexibility. While the short-term loss is noticeable, the potential long-term gains are substantial. By redistributing opportunities to emerging players like Trey Tucker, Jack Besh, and Michael Mayer, the Raiders are giving themselves a chance to identify new stars and build a more balanced, dynamic offense. It's a calculated risk, one that weighs present discomfort against future reward, but it's a move that aligns with the team's broader vision of competitiveness in 2026 and 2027. On the other side of the field, Jacksonville clearly benefits from acquiring Jacoby Myers. They fill a critical need at wide receiver, particularly with injuries and depth concerns. Jacoby provides experience, reliability, and familiarity with a coach he knows, making it a seamless fit for their offense. The Jaguars are a team in win-now mode, and Jacoby helps them immediately, potentially changing how defenses have to approach their offensive scheme. For Jacksonville, it's a win that addresses a real-time need, while for the Raiders, it's a step toward building the future foundation of the team. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL world is buzzing with whispers that could shake the league to its core. Sources close to the Raiders organization suggest that the Silver and Black are on the verge of pulling off a move that would instantly redefine their defense. A blockbuster acquisition of none other than Aaron Donald. Yes, the reigning defensive powerhouse, multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year, could be suiting up in Las Vegas next season. If the deal goes through, the Raiders wouldn't just be signing a player. They'd be announcing a full-scale nightmare for opposing offenses. Imagine the chaos of Donald wreaking havoc on the line, flanked by a Raiders roster eager to capitalize on his relentless pass-rushing instincts. Analysts are already speculating about how this move could transform the team into an instant Super Bowl contender. And frankly, the idea alone is enough to give quarterbacks nightmares. Inside sources claim the Raiders have been aggressively courting Donald for months, dangling both the promise of a championship-contending team and a massive contract. The atmosphere in Las Vegas has shifted overnight, with fans buzzing on social media, imagining a defense so terrifying that teams might reconsider even stepping onto the field. Could this finally be the season where the Raiders' defense becomes the stuff of legend, the kind that dominates highlight reels and terrorizes offensive lines week after week? Of course, nothing is official yet, and rival executives are reportedly watching the situation with equal parts awe and dread. One thing is clear: if Aaron Donald lands in Las Vegas, the Raiders' defense won't just be good. It could become a veritable juggernaut, a nightmare unit that changes the balance of power in the AFC. The league may never see a defensive force like this again, and the speculation alone is enough to send shockwaves through every locker room from coast to coast. For now, fans can only wait, tweet, and dream, because if the rumors hold any truth, the Raiders are about to make NFL history. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.